The line for lunch at Louisville County Jail moved slowly. 80 men. One serving station. Metal trays that had seen better decades. Food that looked the same whether it was Tuesday or Thursday. Gray meat. Brown vegetables. Something that might have been potatoes. Muhammad Ali stood in line like everyone else. No special treatment. No celebrity privilege. Just another inmate waiting for a meal he didn't want in a place he shouldn't be. It was June 1967. Ali had refused to step forward when his name was called at the draft induction center. Refused to fight in Vietnam. Refused to compromise his beliefs. And now he was here, county jail, waiting for his appeal, waiting for his trial, waiting to see if standing for his principles would cost him 5 years of his life. The line moved forward. Ali moved with it. He held his tray, kept his head up, stayed aware. That's what Angelo Dundee had told him before he turned himself in. Stay aware. Don't start anything. But don't let anyone think you're weak. Ali understood. In the ring, he was the greatest. Outside the ring, in here, he was just another body. Another number. Another test of survival. He was 4 people from the serving station when it happened. A man stepped in front of him. Not beside him. Not around him. Directly in front of him. Cutting the line. Deliberate. Intentional. The cafeteria didn't go silent. That would be too obvious. But the noise changed. Dropped. Conversations became whispers. Men stopped looking at their trays and started looking at Ali. Because everyone recognized the man who just cut in line. Raymond Bishop Crawford. The man who ran D-Block. The man who decided who ate, who slept, who survived. 42 years old. Serving 15 years for armed robbery. 8 years in. 7 to go. And every single day of those 8 years, he'd been building power. Bishop was 6'1", maybe 220. Not the biggest man in the jail, but the most dangerous. Not because of his size, because of his control, his organization, his ability to make things happen while guards looked the other way. He turned around slowly, looked at Ali, smiled. Not a friendly smile, a testing smile. Muhammad Ali, Bishop said, loud enough for the men nearby to hear. The greatest boxer in the world. The man too good to fight for his country. Ali said nothing, just looked at him, calculating, measuring. You know what's interesting about jail, Ali? Bishop continued. In here, famous don't mean nothing. Money don't mean nothing. What you did outside don't mean nothing. Only thing that matters is what you do right now. Right here. In this line. The serving station was 2 people away. Ali could see the guard at the front. The guard saw what was happening. Saw Bishop cutting the line. Saw the confrontation brewing. And the guard did nothing. Because Bishop owned the guards. Not with money. With information. With knowing who was sneaking what. Who was breaking which rule. Who was taking shortcuts that could cost them their jobs. Bishop owned the jail. And now he was testing whether he owned Muhammad Ali. So here's the situation, Bishop said, turning to face Ali fully. This line is mine. Every man in it got here because I let them. And you? You're standing in my line without permission. Without showing respect. Without understanding how things work in here. Ali felt the eyes. 80 men watching. Waiting. Guards in the corners pretending not to notice. This moment would define everything. Every day he spent here. Every interaction. Every meal. Every breath. If he backed down, he'd be prey. Easy target. The famous boxer who folded the moment he faced real consequence. If he fought, he'd prove he was violent. Prove the prosecution right. Prove that refusing Vietnam wasn't principle, it was cowardice. Because he'd fight for a place in a lunch line but not for his country. But there was a third option. And Muhammad Ali had built his career on finding third options that nobody else saw. You're right, Ali said clearly. Loud enough for everyone to hear. You absolutely right. Bishop's smile flickered. That wasn't the response he expected. This is your line, Ali continued. You run D-Block. Everyone here knows it. Everyone respects it. And I came in here without asking permission. Without showing proper respect. That's on me. The cafeteria was silent now. Completely silent. 80 men holding their breath. Bishop's face was uncertain. This was going too easy. Something was wrong. So I apologize, Ali said. Not for being in line, but for not introducing myself properly. For not showing respect to the man who runs things. That was disrespectful of me. He extended his hand. Not submission. Not fear. Introduction. Muhammad Ali. Most of you know me from boxing. But in here I'm just another man doing his time. Trying to make it through. And I'd appreciate any guidance you can give me about how things work. Because you're right. What I did outside don't mean nothing in here. Bishop looked at the hand. At Ali's face. At the 80 men watching. He could reject it. Could escalate. Could push this into violence and prove his dominance. But Ali had just given him something more valuable than dominance. Ali had given him respect. In front of everyone. Had acknowledged Bishop's power without challenging it. Had submitted to the hierarchy without submitting himself. And refusing that? Refusing a man who'd just shown public respect? That would make Bishop look insecure. Petty. Like a man who needed violence to maintain power. Bishop shook Ali's hand. All right, Bishop said slowly. All right, I can respect that. Man who knows how to show respect. He stepped aside slightly. You can stay in line. But from now on, you ask before you assume. Understood. Understood, Ali said. Bishop nodded. Turned back around. The line moved forward, and Muhammad Ali had just won a fight without throwing a single punch. But it wasn't over. 20 minutes later, Ali sat at a table with his tray. Gray meat, brown vegetables, mystery potatoes. He ate slowly, mechanically. The food tasted like nothing, like existence, like survival. 3 tables away, Bishop sat with his crew. 6 men, all of them watching Ali, all of them talking quietly, making decisions. Ali felt it, the attention, the calculation. The test wasn't finished. It never was. A young kid, maybe 19, skinny, scared, approached Ali's table, stood there, waited. Yeah, Ali said. Bishop wants to talk to you. Private. Back table. Ali looked at the back table. Corner of the cafeteria. Away from guards. Away from witnesses. Where private conversations happened. Where debts got collected. Where lessons got taught. Tell Bishop I'm eating. He wants to talk. He can come here. The kid's eyes went wide. Man, you can't. I can and I did. Tell him I said that. The kid hesitated. Then scurried back to Bishop's table. Whispered in his ear. Bishop's face changed. The careful control slipped for just a second. Showed something beneath. Anger. Real anger. He stood up. His crew stood with him. 6 men. Crossing the cafeteria. Heading toward Ali's table. The guards noticed now. Hands moved to radios. But not pressing them. Not yet. Just watching. Waiting to see what happened. Bishop reached Ali's table. His crew surrounded it. Not threatening. Not yet. Just present. You must not have understood the kid, Bishop said quietly. I asked you to come talk. Private. I understood fine, Ali replied. And I'm saying if you want to talk, we can talk here. Out in the open. Where everyone can see we're just 2 men having a conversation. Maybe I don't want everyone to see. Maybe that's exactly why I won't go back there. The tension was physical. Like electricity. Everyone in the cafeteria watching. Guards shifting. Ready to intervene. Or ready to let something happen. Hard to tell which. Bishop leaned down. Close to Ali's ear. Whispered so only Ali could hear. You think you're smart. Think you outplayed me in that line. But you don't understand how this works. You disrespected me in front of my people. And now you're disrespecting me again by refusing a private conversation. You're making me look weak. And I can't allow that. Ali whispered back. I didn't make you look weak. I made you look powerful. I acknowledged your position in front of everyone. That's respect. But going to a back corner where nobody can see? That's not respect. That's submission. And I won't submit. Not to you. Not to anyone. Bishop pulled back. Looked at Ali. Really looked at him. So what are you suggesting? Bishop asked. Still quiet. Still controlled. I'm suggesting we have our conversation right here. Right now. Out loud. No secrets. No back corners. Just two men talking about how we're going to coexist in this place. Because I'm not trying to take your power. But I'm also not giving you mine. The cafeteria was frozen. 80 men, 6 guards, 2 men standing over a table with gray meat and mystery potatoes. Bishop pulled out a chair. Sat down across from Ali. His crew looked confused. This wasn't the script. This wasn't how things worked. All right, Bishop said. Let's talk. Out loud. Where everyone can hear. Ali nodded. I appreciate that. First question. Why'd you refuse to go to Vietnam? The cafeteria leaned in. Even the guards. Because this was the question everyone wanted answered. The question the newspapers asked. The judges asked. The whole country asked. Because I don't have nothing against them Viet Cong, Ali said simply. They never called me nigger. They never lynched my people. They never made me sit in the back of the bus. So why should I go kill them for a country that's still killing my people here? Bishop was quiet for a moment. You know half these guards are veterans? Half these men in here fought in that war. I know. And you just called them fools for doing it. No, Ali corrected. I called myself unwilling. That's different. Some men fight because they believe. Some fight because they got no choice. I respect both. But I had a choice. And I chose not to. That's my decision. My consequence. My price to pay. And that price is 5 years in prison. If that's what it costs to keep my soul, then that's what I'll pay. Bishop leaned back. Studied Ali. The anger was gone from his face. Replaced by something else. Curiosity. Maybe respect. You really believe that? Every word. Even in here. Even when famous don't protect you. Even when your money can't help you. Even when it's just you and concrete and time. Especially then, Ali said. Because that's when belief matters most. When it costs you something. When it's not easy or comfortable or profitable. That's when you find out if you really believe. Or if you were just performing. The cafeteria was silent. 80 men processing what they'd just heard. Guards listening. Bishop calculating. All right, Bishop finally said. He stood up. Extended his hand. You can stay at this table. You can eat your meals in peace. Nobody in D-Block will test you. You got my word on that. Ali shook his hand. I appreciate that. But, Bishop continued, you also got to understand something. Respect goes both ways. You want to be left alone, you leave my operations alone. You see things, you don't see things. You hear things, you don't hear things. We clear. We're clear, Ali said. I'm not here to cause problems. Just here to do my time and get out. Bishop nodded. Walked back to his table. His crew followed. The cafeteria noise returned. Conversations. Metal trays. The rhythm of 80 men finishing lunch. But something had changed. Ali had established himself. Not through violence. Not through submission. But through something the jail hadn't seen in years. Principle that survived reality. That night, Ali lay on his bunk in his cell, staring at the concrete ceiling, processing the day. His cellmate, an older man named Jeremiah who'd been quiet all day, finally spoke. You know Bishop didn't have to let you off that easy. I know. You know why he did? Ali turned his head. Why? Because you gave him something more valuable than dominance. You gave him legitimacy. By showing him respect in public, by acknowledging his power, you made his power real. Before that, he was just a bully. After that conversation, he's a leader, and leaders can afford to show mercy. Ali thought about that. So I accidentally made him stronger? You did, but you also made yourself untouchable. Because now he's invested in you. Your presence here validates his authority. If something happens to you, it makes him look weak for not protecting someone he publicly respected. Politics, Ali said. Everything's politics, especially in jail. Jeremiah was quiet for a moment. But there's something else you should know. What? That veteran. The one who fought in Vietnam. He was at lunch. He heard what you said. Ali's chest tightened. And he's been talking to the other veterans in here about what you said, about how you respected their choice even though you made a different one. That's good, right? Some of them are angry, think you're a coward dressed up in pretty words. But some of them, Jeremiah paused, some of them are thinking about why they went, about who sent them, about what they're really fighting for. I didn't come here to start a revolution. Nobody does. But sometimes standing for something makes other people question why they're still kneeling. Ali closed his eyes, thought about the day, about the lunch line, about Bishop, about the choices he'd made. Jeremiah, yeah? You think I did the right thing? Refusing Vietnam. The old man was quiet for a long time. Then, I think you did the true thing. Whether it's right or wrong ain't for me to judge. But it's true to who you are. And in a place like this, in a world like this, truth is rarer than right. Ali thought about that until sleep came. 3 days later, Ali was transferred to federal holding while his appeal processed. As he walked out of D Block with his belongings, Bishop appeared. Ali. Bishop. You leaving? For now. Appeal hearing next week. Bishop nodded, then extended his hand. Good luck. And for what it's worth, you changed something in here. Don't know what yet, but something shifted. Ali shook his hand. Maybe that's enough. Maybe. As Ali walked toward processing, he heard Bishop call out, Hey Ali! He turned around. That Viet Song line? About them never calling you nigger. Bishop smiled. That's going to outlive both of us. That's going to echo. Ali smiled back. Good. Let it echo. Let it make people think. The gates. That's out of county jail. He walked into temporary freedom while lawyers argued over his fate. But something stayed behind in that cafeteria, in that lunch line, in that conversation at a table with gray meat and mystery potatoes. Proof that power doesn't always come from dominance, sometimes it comes from respect. And sometimes the greatest victories happen in lunch lines where nobody's keeping score. Except everyone is.